Blog Talk Radio.
The person I'm going to talk about next is a person who's very near to me. A person who's a second-generation revolutionary. So please help me in welcoming Brother Tupac Shakur.
Yes. First, I want to say peace to my mother. She's not here, but I got to give a peace out to her because I wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for my mother. And I looked on the front of this thing and it says start from within to rebuild our original greatness, right? Okay, well, that's what my mother did. You know what I'm saying? And I'm listening about freedom fighters and strugglers. Well, you got to understand that when it was in to have a gun and to be in the street, my mother gave that up to be in a house and wash the dishes, you know what I'm saying, and feed us and put the thoughts in our brains, you know what I'm saying, because we didn't get any of that history from all of those soldiers that we lost. We got none of that. They all went to jail, if you can remember. They all went to penitentiaries. We didn't see none of that knowledge. If it was not for my mother who stayed home and didn't go out and do all that, then I wouldn't have had shit, excuse my language, but I wouldn't have been nowhere. So what I'm going to do, hopefully, is I want to be I am Tupac Shakur. I have to be a reminder that we can't chill out. No, it ain't time to cool out and banquets and all that. It's still on. It's on just like it was on when you was young, and you want to say fuck that, just like you said fuck that back then. So how come now that I'm 20 years old, ready to start some shit up, everybody's telling me to calm down? You know, don't curse, go to school, go to college. Well, fuck that. You know, we had colleges for a while now. You know what I'm saying? And it's still Brendas out there, and niggas is still trapped. You know what I'm saying? And it gets me hurt. because I understand that it's not going to stop. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to stop until we stop it. And it's not just white men that's doing this to Brenda. And it's not just white men that's keeping us trapped. It's black. You know what I'm saying? We have to find the new African in everybody, in all of them. Because if we keep running around looking for black and who got the most colors on and who got the baddest dashiki on, we still gonna get, excuse my language, fucked. Because it irks me that my mother right now is going through, she has to get clean. This is somebody who I watched travel the whole country, you know what I'm saying, during a time when women were scared to speak up for the Black Panthers. She spoke at Harvard, Yale, everywhere. And now I see my mother as what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? And I don't see no big parades around my mother now. And she done got a dozen fucking awards. And I don't see nobody there. You understand what I'm saying? So about all this, I take that lightly. I take all this lightly. What I want you to take seriously is what we have to do for the youth. Because we're coming up in a totally different world. This is not the same world that you had. This is not the 60s. This is not that. We grew up, BC, before crack. That should say it all. You understand what I'm saying? We did not grow up without parents. You had parents that told you this and that, and this is what went on back in the day. Now you don't have that. You have young kids, 14, coming home, their mama is smoking out or doing it to their best friend to get the product. You understand what I'm saying? So that means that it's not just about you taking care of your child, it's about you taking care of these children. Because that's what's out here. It's a gang of children. You understand what I'm saying? And it hurts. It hurts. And I gotta it bothers me, not hurts, it bothers me that I have to sidestep my youth to stand up and do some shit that somebody else is supposed to be doing. You understand what I'm saying? There's too many men out here for me to be doing it. Because it ain't my turn yet. I'm supposed to be following behind him getting the knowledge. I don't even got a chance to get the fucking knowledge. I can't go to college. There's too much problems out here. I don't got the money. Nobody do. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it's not as easy as we mapping it out to be. And we got to stay real. We got to stay real. Before we can be New African, we got to be black first. You understand? We got to get our brothers from the street like Harriet Tubman did. Why can't we look at that and see exactly what she was doing? Like Malcolm did. The real Malcolm. Before the Nation of Islam. You got to remember this was a pimp. You know what I'm saying? The push and all that. We forgot about all of that. And our strive to be enlightened, we forgot about all our brothers in the street. About all our dope dealers, our pushers and our pimps. And that's who's teaching the new generation. Because y'all not doing it. I'm sorry. But it's the pimps and the pushers who's teaching us. So if you got a problem with how we was raised, it's because they was the only ones who could do it. They the only ones who did it. While everybody else wanted to go to college and, everything has changed. They was the ones that was telling you the white man ain't shit. Here you go. Check this out, young blood. You take this product, you switch it, you make money, and that's how you beat the white man. You get money, you get the hell up out of here. Nobody else did that. So I don't want to hear shit about nobody telling me who I can't love and respect until you start doing what they did. You understand what I'm saying? To me, this is Mecca. You know what I'm saying? This is the black family. I see it here. But what makes it even that much more sad, what makes me want to cry, is because as soon as I leave here, so does Mecca. You understand what I'm saying? We're going back to the real deal. Right out there, you're going to see them same sisters and Brenda. They right out there. And y'all going to get in y'all cars and drive the fuck home. You know what I'm saying? And I apologize, but check this out. You can't be no more offended by my curses than what's really going on. That's real. That's real, y'all. That's real. Y'all gotta really be true to that. You gotta be true to that. Because you letting the media and the white man cut us off. You letting them say that the rappers ain't real and you know, you gotta either be, you know, the intelligent person or you're a gut person. We all the same. We all feel it like y'all feel it. I just can't hold a straight face when I see it. Right. This is proof that we can be together. The young black male is the future of us. And the young black sister is the future of us. It's gonna be what you put into it. So if you don't put shit into it, don't get mad when you blow up.
Peace and blessings. I said peace and blessings, love and service to the families. You are live with us at Pops Movement Radio Networks. This is Fellows Friday, and I am hosting in for my brother with Javon G. This is Brother Hess with you live in that direct family. We are here for Brothers Uniting for a Change show here at Pops Movement Radio Networks, and we want to just open up this way tonight by saying peace and blessings to the La Familias. Family, this is Brothers Uniting for a Change, and we are live and direct with you from Georgia. We are live and direct from Tennessee, from Alabama, and Chicago, Illinois. And family, we just want to say welcome everybody here to Pops Movement Radio Networks. Remember, welcome to Pops Movement presentations mean welcome to POPS, and that's People Organizing Peace Systems. The peace is not as in the two fingers being thrown up, but is in PEACE, which stands for Preparing Everyone as Change Evolves. That's what we're about here at Pops Movement. We're about preparing everyone as change evolves. We know that a change is going to come, but what we evolve into is definitely predicated upon what we are prepared to go through, to get through, and to help each other see through. So with that being said, family, we want to open up by saying, please forever keep in mind that Pops Movement is not allied or tied with any particular race, religion, organizations, groups, belief systems, or what have you. Pops Movement is all-inclusive, and we have an open door and an open arm policy as it concerns our willingness to work with other righteous people and groups with our 6 steps to preparing everyone as change evolves. Peace. Our movement is one whose main focus is upon applying the system of our 6 steps to preparing everyone as change evolves. Peace. And striving to bring a therapeutic value to people or situations that can benefit from our organizational skills in preparing everyone as change evolves. You can learn more about this family. You can learn more about our movement by just clicking in www.popsmovement.com. Remember, our founding mission at Pops Movement was to form a bond with various people from different locations, different races and religions, from different organizations, affiliates, etc., to see if we could form a council, form a circle, a think tank. And this council identified problems in the community that prevented a hostile-free environment, one which could learn therapeutic methods for stabilizing the people and groups that required such for a united front. Remember, our first community that applied these 6 steps to preparing everyone as change evolves was reported as one of the worst prisons in Georgia. As this took shape inside the walls, it was quickly embraced as a unique design for the recreation of hoods, gang-infested ghettos, and poverty-stricken areas from the Pine Ridge reservations of South Dakota to the mean streets of Atlanta, Chicago, Tallahassee, Florida, and so forth and so on. And we also did these programs in the different states of Michigan, Arizona, Kansas, Tennessee, North Carolina, Minnesota, and Mississippi. not to mention the many who have had the hand of this movement and family touch them through radio and social media, along with the personal consultation services across this country in love and service. So with that being said, family, again, we welcome you to Pops Movement Radio Networks. I'm your brother Hess, and we are striving to bring this thing in correctly. Tonight we will be joined by our beloved brother, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., in just a little bit. But while we are waiting for him to arrive into the studios of Pops Movement Radio, family, we want to go into a selection that was requested by our beloved brother, Charles Spencer, who we call Big Brother Sir, Big Brother C. So with that being said, family, check out this recording, and I think you'll definitely enjoy it for your listening pleasures. Peace and blessings, family. Love and service.
Hey, yeah, we're the same brothers from a long time ago. We was talking about television and doing it on the radio. What we did was to help our generation realize they got to get out there and get busy because it wasn't going to be televised. We got respect for young rappers and the way they freewaying. But if you're going to be teaching folks things, be sure you know what you're saying. Older folks in our neighborhood got plenty of know-how. Remember, if it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be out there now. And I ain't coming at you with no disrespect. All I'm saying is that you damn well got to be correct. Because if you're going to be speaking for a whole generation and you know enough to try and handle their education, be sure you know the real deal about past situations and ain't just repeating what you heard on the local TV station. Sometimes they tell lies and put them in a truthful disguise. But the truth is, that's why we said it wouldn't be televised. They don't know what to say to our young folks, but they know that you do. And if they really knew the truth, why would they tell you? The first sign is peace. Tell all them gun-toting young brothers that the man is glad to see us out there killing one another. We raised too much hell when they were shooting us down, so they started poisoning our mind and trying to jerk us all around. And then they tell us they got to come in and control our situation. They want half of us on dope and the other half in incarceration. If the ones they want dead ain't killed by what they instigated, they can put some dope on the brother's body and claim it was drug-related. Tell them drug-related means there don't need to be no investigation, or at least that's the way they're going to play it on the local TV station. All your 9mm brothers, give them something to think about. Tell them you heard that this is the new word. They got to work that stuff out. But somehow they feeling the wrong way with a gun in their hands. They feeling real independent, but they just pulling contracts with a man. 5 and 5 will tell you it's hopeless out there on the avenue, but if they really knew the truth, why would they tell you? And if they look at you like you're insane and they start calling you scarecrow and say you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that white folks have finally co-opted your game, or worse yet, implying that you don't really know, that's the same thing they said about us a long time ago. Young rappers, one more suggestion before I get out of your way. But I appreciate the respect you give me and what you got to say. I'm saying protect your community and spread that respect around. Tell brothers and sisters they got to calm that bullshit down, because we're terrorizing our old folks and we brought fear into our homes, and they ain't got to hang out with the senior citizens. Just tell them, damn it, leave the old folks alone. And we know who's ripping off the neighborhood. Tell them that BS has got to stop. Tell them you're sorry they can't handle it out there, but they got to take the crime off the block. And if they look at you like they think you're insane, or start calling you scarecrow thinking you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that white folks have suddenly co-opted your game, or worse yet, saying that you really don't know, that's the same thing they said about me a long time ago. And if they tell folks that you finally lost your nerve, that's the same thing they said about us when we said Johannesburg. But I think you young folks need to know that things don't go both ways. You can't talk respect on every other song or just every other day. What I'm speaking on now is the raps about the women folks. On one song, she's your African queen, and on the next one, she's a joke. And you ain't said no words that I haven't heard, but that ain't no compliment. It only insults 8 people out of 10 and questions your intelligence. 4-letter words or 4-syllable words won't make you a poet. It will only magnify how shallow you are and let everybody know it. And if they look at you like they think you're insane, or they call you scarecrow thinking you ain't got no brain, or start telling folks that you suddenly gone lame, or that the white folks have finally co-opted your game, or you really don't know, they said that about me a long time ago. If they finally start telling people that you lost your nerve, that's what they said about Johannesburg. You ain't insane. You have got a brain. You haven't gone lame. You have got your game. Remember, keep the nerve. Keep the nerve. Keep the nerve. Keep the nerve. We're talking about peace.
I'm Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., the chairman of the POCC/BPPC, which is an acronym for the Prisoners of Conscience Committee, Black Panther Cubs. I'm also the son of Chairman Fred Hampton, as well as that of Akua and Jerry, formerly known as Deborah Johnson. And in a nutshell, better yet, in the jail cell, I'm a servant of the people. Our position is that everything is political, even including that of words and terms. And I reference, and I continue to reference, what many people euphemistically refer to as the prison, the concentration camps. When we speak about this contradiction, concentration camps, it's not from a book I've read or a TV show I've seen. It's from the brutal conditions that I was subjected to, and I've seen so many others subjected to inside the brutal places such as Stateville, which we refer to as Deathville, Pontiac, Atticus, San Quentin, so on and so forth. Today, not back in the days, today, 17-year-old young ladies are forced to rinse out their sanitary napkins for reuse. Pontiac, Illinois, where prisoners are forced to go on visitation with their children with black net mask over the face, rubber grill over the mouthpiece, forcefully medicating of prisoners in these juvenile detention centers. It's documented. Took their sperm count down from 1,000 to 0 in a matter of days. This is a war that's being waged on our people, and the mass kidnapping of our people that has happened under the auspices of the front of some so-called war on drugs, war on gangs, is nothing less than the war on the African community in particular, and the war on the people in general. We attempt to put into practice what the Alcoholics Anonymous say. They say the first step in addressing the problem is recognizing we got a problem. So again, we say terms are important as opposed to using these nice terms such as gentrification. Call it what it is, the land grab. Police brutality, that's another euphemism. Call it what it is, police terrorism. Capitalism, this system has no redeemable qualities. Again, no redeemable qualities. And if this system was interested in justice, people like George Bush, the rest of these American gangsters and banksters will be buried under the penitentiary, buried up under these concentration camps. So we again, in contrast, similar to like the U.S. Marines, they say kill them all, let God sort them out. POCC, the BPPC, we say free them all, let the people sort them out. We say the Black Panther Party said the differences amongst the people are reconcilable. However, the difference between the people and the state are irreconcilable. Chairman Fred said the revolution is a scientific art that must be perfected. We call upon all communities, to play some role, in revolution. We are not racist, but we are realists. The race question is something we cannot negate. So we say the white community should take a principled position. It's not because of some hard work ethic that the white community is engaged in. It's because of a quote-unquote relationship, chattel slavery, black elephant in the room. The white community has benefited of the slave labor of black people and continues today under they call it the prison labor, the merchants in the community, the slumlords, the real estate, you name it. But again, let's combat liberalism. Stop trying to let this race question, this race contradiction does not exist, because the reality is that race and class are two of the major tools that U.S. imperialism has implemented. So again, we want to take we call them the white community to take a principled stance, get on the right side of history, because history is going to be made. Get on the right side of history, play the role of support, the struggle, that black people in particular have been dealing with, oppressed people in general have to deal with. it may have been Emil Cabral or Guinea-Bissau or Kwame Nkrumah, I forgot which one, but who had said neo-colonialism is the last stage of capitalism. Again, neo-colonialism is the last stage of capitalism. In other words, white power disguised in black faces, or white power disguised in brown faces. Our position is that Obama was the coldest drugs that America dropped on blacks since crack. So we're in a stage in the game where people are, they're seeing this, they're exhausted to vote. They went through the whole process of voting, and when the state has brought these different Pied Pipers, these different entertainers and spokes for athletes, so on and so forth, to divert us from the question. People get involved in the work or become conscious one of three ways: inspiration, aspiration, and desperation. Desperate times are here. So again, we got to seize the time and make sure that thoroughbreds be the front of the stagecoach, because there's going to be attempts when the state, as what Malcolm said, when the state sees they can't stop it, they will attempt to co-opt it, water it down, change it, make it something to be. I spoke before and I'll speak again. Some of the contradictions that we've experienced with the white left, as well as the petty bourgeoisie forces, where they attempt to not let the African working class, black people, speak on their own interests. That precious entity that we refer to as self-determination, we will not be deprived of. So again, we can form coalitions, we can form, unite on certain cases and campaigns, but that precious entity that the people have been deprived of, self-determination must be respected. This is the streets, this is my office. This concrete, that's my desk. The cats you see on these street corners, all that, these are our secretaries. We work for the people. I work out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We say, what's our call? Free them all. And we say when they mess over something, when the state attacks Sunday out of their cola, we're going to ride. When the state attacks Linda Peltier, we're going to ride. When the state attacks Rakia Board, they're going to ride. And we're going to hit every nook and cranny of the community, the code of culture, the code of education ethic, different tactics. Because we out there in the community talking to the people, winning them to some point of unity with the struggle. We distinguish that there's a difference between war and revolution. War, you get two occupying armies. They suit up and boot up to get out. Revolution, when you gain the mass and participation of the masses of the people.
Love and service, peace and blessings. I say love and service for the people. Family, you are back with us live at Pops Movement Radio Networks. This is Brothers Uniting for a Change on Fellows Friday, and I'm live with you as Brother Hess, bringing to you In the Gap with my brother Javon G, who is out with the brothers and the sisters right now in a protest at Baltimore, Maryland. We just want to give a big salute. Our sister Queen Daphne Jackson is headed out that way as well. And family, we got so much love for those who are willing to stand in the gap for the people. And these two soldiers, these two very strong figures within the Pops Movement family have done so much to stand in the gap. And so we want to send a big salute, and I ask for everybody to please send your prayers up for our beloved sister and brother. So with that being said, family, tonight we're speaking on, what's the solution? Many people confront the problems. Many people talk about the problems. Many people, bring different variations of the problems. And one thing that separates Pop's movement from many other platforms is that we want to stay focused on the solution. What is the solution to the problems today? What is the solution to, the issues that come in, in the way of internal conflict as far as us, as Afro-American brothers and sisters, as well as, external conflict that comes with us confronting issues with the penal system, the government, police agencies, outside forces of supremacy, and other different issues that our struggle must confront. And before we get ready to go into the show, I want to read a piece out of the Black Panther Speaks. And this is off of page 142, where Chairman Fred Hampton was writing. It says, "Go with the people. So what should we do if we're the vanguard? What is it right to do? Is it right for the leadership of that struggle to go faster than the followers of that struggle can go? No. We're not going to be dealing in commandism. We're not going to be dealing in no tailism. We say that just as fast as the people can possibly go, that's just as fast as we can take it. While we take it, we must be sure that we are not missing the people in the valley. In the valley, we know that we can learn to understand the life of the people. We know that with all the bull crap, it say shit, but we don't cuss on Pop's movement. It say, we know that with all the bull crap out there, you can come to consider yourself on the mountaintop. I may even consider myself one day on the mountaintop. I may have already. But I know that in the valley there are people like Benny, and there are people like me, people like Mickey White, and people like Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. And that below the valley are people like Bobby Hutton, people like Eldridge Cleaver. We know that going into the valley is a dangerous thing. We know that when you go out to the valley, you got to make a commitment. A lot of people think the revolution is bull crap, but it's not. A lot of us think that when you get to the revolution, you can talk your way out of things, but that's not true. Ask Bobby Hutton. Ask Huey Newton. Ask Eldridge Cleaver, Mickey White, and Dennis Moore. Ask these people whether it's a game. If you get yourself involved in the revolutionary struggle, then you've got to be serious. You got to know what you're doing. You got to already have practiced some type of theory. That's the reason we ask people to follow the leadership of the Vanguard Party, because we all theorizing and we all practicing. We make mistakes, but we're always correcting them and we're always getting better. We used to run around yelling about Panther power. The Panthers run it. We admit we made mistakes. Our 10-point program is in the midst of being changed right now because we use the word white when we should have used the word capitalist. We're the first to admit our mistakes. We no longer say Panther power because we don't believe the Panthers should have all the power. We are not for the dictatorship of the Panthers. We are not for the dictatorship of black people. We are for the dictatorship of the people. The difference between the people and the Vanguard is very important. You got to understand that the people follow the Vanguard. You got to understand that the Black Panther Party is the Vanguard. If you are about going to the people, you got to understand that the Vanguard leads the people. After the social revolution, the Vanguard Party, through our educational programs, and that program is overwhelming, the people are educated to the point that they can run things themselves. That's what you call educating the people, organizing the people, arming the people, and bringing them revolutionary political power. That means people's power. That means the people's revolution. And if you're not about being involved in the people's revolution, then you got to do something. You got to support the people's revolution. Peace and blessings, love and service. Again, that's an excerpt from Chairman Fred Hampton out of the Black Panther Speaks, and that's Chairman Fred Hampton Speaks. And we just want to say rest in paradise to our honorable elder who gave his life on the front lines of this struggle. We're back with you live, family. Peace and blessings, love and service. Yes, we are here for Brothers Uniting for a Change here on this Fellows Friday. And we're in the studios right now of Pops Movement Radio Networks. And I want to go to the lines real quick. I see we got a 612 calling in, 612-306. Peace and blessings, brother, sister.
Peace and blessings, all power to all the people. This is Brother Marcus for the Black Man Stand Up Movement. I'd like to say it's a blessing to be reconnected with everybody here today. And I would like to share with you that we have been doing nothing but building on the front lines of the original 10-point program set up by Fred Hampton personally. I came in, as you were saying, echoing everything that the Black Man Stand Up Movement is also standing for. And we say black to be as a descriptive word of the unknown culture, not necessarily the skin culture, the dark, the villainous man, the nefarious man, the man who is not being a man. Stand up and take your rightful place as a man. Accountability first, education of self. to learn how to go forward and be the change that you want to see. Now, it's a detrimental time in our community. Think whoever made the picture of the fist that had all the flags on it. Because when I saw the Bloods and Crips uniting with the BGF out there in Baltimore, it reminded me back in 1992, which just happened to be the same anniversary of that happening for Rodney King. It reminded me of the brothers in Ferguson. They were out there. I knew it was propaganda because they were out there trying to do good. And I started it out as a social experiment, changing my profile picture to that, to stand in solidarity and good faith with those brothers that they were going to stand up and do the right thing. And they did. And I was glad that I did, because in the last 5 days, I had over 25, 30 people go ahead and say they're going to make that stand too. Different gang members from different parts of the country to say, look, we got to unite so that we can protect our community from, any threat, foreign or domestic, against the livelihood of our lives, our elderly, our women, our children, our community, and including what's going on with the police. We come from a place to where we have the right to defend ourselves. And that don't mean get ready to go out there and tear up the city and burn up the city. That's not going to solve anything. We have to educate ourselves to where we can defend ourselves and do more within the constitutions of the law. It allows us to defend ourselves against bullies with badges, and it does. And I invite everybody to read up on that document that governs this whole land and use it towards your advantage. That is what Fred Hampton wanted us to do. We're part of this system whether we like it or not. We were born here. We have to make the best out of what we can do, and together we can achieve more. Right now we're seeing the power of the people united, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It makes me feel blessed to be a part of it, because I'm hearing the echoes of everything that me and a lot of other brothers have been saying for the last 7 or 8 years and more, coming out on these young people, young people. And this young generation that's coming behind, wow, they're such a beautiful generation. It gave me a whole lot of hope. Because I deal with our lost, and I deal with the people who still stuck in that life, and sometimes it's hand to hand with these guys, and more people fail than succeed because it's a hard transition to make from that life. I was a gang member my whole adult life until I was 30 years old. I'm going on 37. I'm going on 7 years removed from that. And I got to grow with you brothers this whole time. And it's been a beautiful, beautiful thing to where I can just say, hey, I'm going to be an example. And people decide, hey, I'm going to follow that example. It started as a social experiment. And it's catching on. And maybe we can see the day where our people unite. Because I'm seeing a day, I was marching in Minneapolis when the girl got hit by the car, that van that ran through the crowd, he clipped me and stuff, people were calling us nigga and nigga lover and throwing stuff at us. But in reality, I looked around and I had to thank every other community for standing up for my community when my community didn't stand up for themselves. And that's the real talk. And a lot of these people doing this are college kids. I have a daughter who's going on 20 years old. These are her peers. I'm looking around, I'm seeing all these young people like, wow, I'm old enough to be your dad and stuff, and thank you. We have to kill these isms out here, because when I was marching in Minneapolis, it was everybody, every community, including the gay community, that was standing up for our people, saying Black Lives Matter. I'm a hip-hop artist. So I'll share a couple bars with you guys from a song I'm writing, while we riding around getting and making pockets fatter, making fools out the ones saying Black Lives Matter. And it's a sad thing. But I see right now the consciousness of our people. And I can give a lot to Ferguson decided to flag up and go out there and bring a positive light to that. Because that's where we started from. After the Panthers got dispersed, it turned into Bloods and Crips and everything else. If you Google the history of gangs in Los Angeles, California, it'll bring it all the way back to the spook hunters and everything else, and the rise and fall of the Black Power movement and what it turned into.
We call it white nationalism.
Sure. Exactly, and right now what I see happening though, because I'm out here, eye to eye with a lot of these guys, is their consciousness is starting to go in reverse, and that process that's been done on us. We know the CIA put crack and guns in our community. We know all this right now. That we're kind of waking up from the what and all that everything that's going through, and begin, and we're becoming more conscious to go ahead and say, hey, and that frequency is all.
Man, peace and blessings, brother. Thank you so much for sharing. And what did you say your name was again, beloved brother?
for the Black.
I'm sorry, your phone is breaking up real bad. If you can get in a good signal area, that way our listening audience can hear your name and we can find out how we can reach out to you, brother.
All right, my Facebook right now is Marcus Young, MarcusYoung.
Oh, okay. Everybody, y'all can check him out on my page. This is my brother, man. What's up, Joe?
No doubt. What's up? What's going down? Yeah, I had to switch to my other page because Bertrand Schober got put on punishment, and I have a lot of traffic on this one. This was my artist page that I'm using now. They made me change to a government name. So I use my alias to be funny that I used in high school on them to ha, you know. And then we also have the Black Man Stand Up Movement page on Facebook, too. And this last week we had 120 people join, and we reached almost 10,000 people within the last 6 days. That's a beautiful thing. That's completely grassroots. No funding into that. It's all organic. We're reaching people by the power of just reaching out and putting it out there ourselves. And these are all volunteers who are doing this stuff. So big shout out to everybody who's being the anonymous people behind all the posts on the Black Man Stand Up Movement, because it's not just me. It's not just me. We have a nice team of gentlemen and ladies from all walks of life that decided to step up to that responsibility. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. Man, power to the people, brother. Thank you so much for joining us, man, this evening. And please stay on the line. If you want to come back in, just press 1 again, and I'll bring your mic back in the queue, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, family. Y'all are back with us live at Pops Movement Radio Networks. I'm your host, Brother Hess, for tonight. I'm filling in for my brother Javon G. And I want to bring our beloved brother to the mic. I got a number here calling in, 510-967. 510-96. Is that my brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Peace, brother. Peace, and blessings. Come on in here, brother.
Peace,
Speak
brother.
from your heart, man.
Yes, sir. So my name is I'm the field marshal for POCC. Yes, sir. So I'm standing in for Chairman Fred in the moment while he's en route on another interview.
Already, man. Thank you so much. And for those that don't know, POCC, and that is Prisoners of the Conscious Committee, brother, can you tell us a little bit about the POCC and the Panther Cubs?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we're an organization that started in Chicago, but I'm actually headquartered in Oakland. So we're moving back and forth. The chairman is actually here in Oakland right now. He's been moving with us around some of this May Day activity. We're preparing for an AAT tour. That's the African Anti-Terrorism Bill tour. We are an organization that was began in the camps in Chicago, the prison camps in Chicago. But now we are operating what we call the minimum security. So we are preparing right now for the African Anti-Terrorism Tour. And that bill was developed in Chicago in around 2002. And it's focusing on the myriad of areas of attacks on African life. But what we're doing right now is we are going around the nation and we're talking to different people who have experienced police terrorism, and our goal is to create a national framework around the African Anti-Terrorism Bill. And so it's a campaign, but the bill is the product of the campaign.
Already. Peace and blessings, love and service. Beloved brother, can you answer a few questions with us this evening?
Yes, sir.
You know, one of the things that we have always been about at Pops Movement is preparing everyone. And preparing everyone, we do this through 6 steps. And the 6-step approach is when we go into communities or when we go into dealing with issues, our very first principle, our very first step is form a bond. You know, get to know the struggle of the people, get to know the pain, get to understand where they're at in life. You know, take on, their plate and see what it is that they're eating. But, this right here is something that has, what we've seen has been lacking, especially in our black communities. Brothers are not standing front line to get out here and meet the people and know they struggle and take their struggle on with them. What do you feel that we can do as brothers who are uniting across the different borders of what people call nations, organizations, street orgs, gangs, religions? What can we do, in your opinion, to be more serious about getting front lines with forming bonds with our communities?
That's an extensive question, but I think the first thing is to get more serious about forming bonds. You know, I think that the first step is to make that commitment to get it done, because in that commitment, we're willing to struggle with the process. Recognize that it is a process. Recognize that we won't get everything right initially. Recognize that the determination of engaging and seeing the process through to the end is what's most important. Because we are a colonized, disenfranchised people, there's a lot that we're having to figure out in motion. Also, acknowledging and recognizing that one of the key and critical components to being able to do that is organization. The state, the ruling class, the ruling elite, they do everything in their power to convince us that organizing is not the solution. For instance, you referenced that we are forming these bonds across state lines, across the waters, across national lines, all of those imaginary dynamics, right? And there are some geographical separations, but when I say imaginary dynamics, I'm talking about these state lines, these country lines, all of these different things that have been imposed on us that we adhere to. And one key component is to begin to challenge the adherence to those dynamics. But if we were speaking practically, in all of those different places, we have to acknowledge the worth in organizing, because in organizing, we begin to be able to communicate to each other through structures. We watch on the streets in every city where there were structures. The state has broken down a lot of the structures inside of even so-called criminal organizations, because structure is to being able to combat anything, because in structure you find unanimity. Even if we don't share the same structural context, I can get to know you a lot better by learning the structural context, your structural language, your structural norms. So even if we don't share the same structural culture, I can share with you my structural culture, you can share with me yours, and then we can communicate based on a mutual understanding of each other's structural cultures. But when you haven't taken the time to codify, when you haven't taken the time to structure those things, it's always chaos. So if we had that dynamic playing out in each one of these communities, then it's the transmittance of those particular community phenomena, like you say, getting down to the ground and really understanding what's happening in a community, in people's community, would be a lot easier. I could step into your city and I could understand the dynamics and the cultural dynamics, because it is a transmittable, standardized, codified dynamic. But the state will do everything in its power to prevent that from happening.
Absolutely. You know, my dear brother, I definitely am feeling that tone. And one of the things that we have addressed here, and we definitely look forward to addressing it on, is in step 2 of this program, we say it's time for us to identify the problem. Once we form a bond, once we understand the struggle, once we begin to see that, just like what you said, there must come time for a commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That commitment requires a proper identification of what's wrong. And,
yes, sir.
brother, in your own words, when you are out in the communities, when you're out on the front lines of what's going on in Oakland, in L.A., in San Diego, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you're going out of state and dealing with the issues out of state, you know, what are you seeing as the internal problem as far as our people? I'm not speaking about the oppressor. I'm not speaking about the capitalists. I'm not speaking about, you understand me, the different classifications outside of us. I'm talking about us, you know, our people. What is the problem? What are you seeing that is one of the most at the level of before going front lines. Because before we go front line, we first got to, just like you said, well, I ain't got to go into that, but you got to be serious, and you got to know what we are confronting. You got to understand what type of attitude you got to have in going into this, and you got to know what it is we're fighting and why we are fighting. If you don't know how and why of it, then you're definitely going to be more of a cost, you understand, than a benefit in the long run. And so we want to properly arm people with truth. So, brother, what do you see as identifying internal problems in our communities before going to the front line?
I'm going to take you one step back and then move forward. What we have is a principle that we deal with, is identifying or the primary and the secondary predator phenomena, right? The primary predator has to be dealt with in this conversation first, because we believe that if we address the issues of our people without contextualizing it, then we lose sight of certain things. So as I contextualize, I'm going to identify what we call the primary predator. And the primary predator is white supremacist, white nationalist organs, the state apparatus and everything that falls under it, the judicial system, the police departments, entertainment apparatuses, art, all of those things that fall under that category as dictated by white nationalists. So we say that's the primary predator, but then we move to the secondary predator. The secondary predators are those in our community that aspire to be what the primary predator is. And that's an important distinction to make, because the secondary predator is emulating and imitating the primary predator. So you ask me what do I feel like the primary problem is, and that is it, is that we have drawn our cultural norms from the primary predator. And so the primary predator informs our cultural norms, what our value systems are, how we identify ourselves, all of those things. So even when we talk about the criminal element, a so-called criminal element in our community, right, those are secondary predators based on reacting to the conditions that the primary predator has created. So what we say is we need to create safe zones. And a safe zone is not necessarily a geographical location, but it needs to be that also, right? But we create safe zones in ourselves and in our community that we aspire to shed as much of the primary predators' influence on us as possible. So even when we have this conversation, we're having a conversation based on attempting to pragmatically look at our situation and know that what the situation is in one place is different than the situation in another place. And I'm speaking pragmatically. Now, there are some very general dynamics, and I hope that I'm hitting on those general dynamics.
Most definitely.
But in a pragmatic attempt, when we have those organizational dynamics, and I'm not advocating for one organization over another. I'm saying when we have those organizational, we're operating off the concept of organizing and the necessity of organizing. We work inside of those organizations to combat our emulation of the primary predator in all ways. So in a nutshell, I know that's a very surfacey answer, but that is where we have to begin.
Peace. Absolutely, brother. No, that wasn't. I wouldn't say that was on the surface level. I feel like, in my humble opinion, this is where we need to gain a better conception of our abilities. And when I say gain an understanding of our abilities, is the fact that, if you put a puzzle in front of a man and you give him the time that he needs to put that puzzle together, he's going to learn different methods of coordinating. He's going to learn different, levels of gaining a better perception of what is needed to put this thing together as a whole. And so what I see you doing is bringing necessary tools together for us to see it. And just like you said, the primary and the secondary is needed to be understood, because when we're talking about identifying the internal problem, meaning our lack of unity, our continual refusal to stop taking on the value system of the system and take on the value system of our system. And it touched me real deep, brother, because that's who we are. When you talk about Pop's movement, we are people organizing peace systems. And the systems of peace is PEACE, and that's preparing everyone as change evolves. You understand? And what we are suggesting is that we understand that we in a system. We sometimes in penal systems, judicial systems, we in the governmental systems, we in these poverty-stricken community systems that are governed by these different other systems, you know what I mean? And it's like, at what point do we begin to stand up and begin to design a system that fits us, that's by us, that's for us? And that's what this program of POPs is all about. It's time for us to prepare each other as change evolves in order for us to be able to have a system that we fit well into. You know, like the Black Panther Party talk about the proletariat. You understand me? And the lumpen proletariat. And we understand the lumpen proletariat is one who is not conscious of the classes. But the proletariat is one that is conscious, but yet and still does not take on, that systematic design as the way of living. But we are all being, bombarded in the proletariat. We're all being bombarded through media. We're being bombarded through music. We're being bombarded through social systems that have accepted the drug culture, that have accepted the alcoholic culture, the recklessness. You know what I mean? And we got young men out here right now calling themselves shooters. And that's what they want to live up to the image of. You know what I mean? Are you hard enough to be a shooter? You know what I mean? Are you on my team? Well, who all gonna be shooters? Okay. Y'all got the nuts to be that. And they take pride, and they feel like that's their advancement into the stages of development, which makes them a man. That's their rites of passage at this point in time. And it's like we losing the grip. And so one of the things that you heard from the first caller that was calling in before we was able to bring you in, he was talking about what we're striving to do, I know, in the South, in the North, Midwest, out West, is bring our groups together, our gangs together, our organizations from the streets together, GDs, Moles, Stones, Vice Lords, Bloods, Crips, you understand me, Black Disciples. And in step 3 of this program, we ask that the people express the importance of unity. And we feel like there has been something going on in our culture for too long that makes us prideful, boastful, you understand me, and feeling like I can't trust anybody that's outside of my subculture, my subgroup. And if you're not claiming what I'm claiming, then you can't be trusted. You're not going to honor what it is that I honor. What do you feel that we can do to expand the minds and the hearts of our young people, especially our young brothers in the streets, to be able to see outside of just that small subculture and begin to see the culture as one that must be trusted in order for us to express, unification, express the importance of unification?
And that's a powerful question. It still goes back to that same dynamic of examining the primary and the secondary. But there's a story and that I'll tell that kind of sums up what needs to happen on certain levels. There was I think it was National Geographic. I was watching a show where they had young bull elephants on the safari. And the young bull elephants were killing rhinos, and they were out of control. And they had never had the researchers had never seen a phenomenon like that. They couldn't figure out what was happening. They couldn't figure out why this was happening. That wasn't a typical thing for the young bull elephants to do. But then as they researched it, they realized that all of the bull elephants, the elder bull elephants, had been taken off of the safari. And so they realized on this particular safari, all of the elder bulls had been transferred to other places. So their solution was they went to those other safari and those other ranges, and they began to integrate older bulls back into the culture. And so you had this scene. They showed clips of where the young bulls were running wild. Then after they introduced the older bull males back into the system, right? You saw the young bulls getting chased by the older bulls. But what they researched was that there were these systems that the older bull elephants always put the younger bull elephants through. They bump them around, they knock them around, they keep them in line. And I thought that was profound because it mirrors our situation. All of the bull elephants, the older bull elephants, the elder bull elephants, we've been removed from the safari. We're in concentration camps, emulating the ways of that have been taught to us by the primary predators, the individualism. So we don't feel that connection. We don't feel obligated to the connection to our children and our families and our communities. Because all of those things are the case, now the young bulls is just doing what the young bulls are going to do. What they realized was the young bulls, they had a heightened state of testosterone, which is the same phenomenon that happens with our babies. But it ain't no elder bulls standing up and saying, nah, you're not going to do that. And this is something we know from experience, brother, because we are out here with these youngsters. And we deal with some of those youngsters that consider themselves shooters. But I'm gonna tell you, it's something when the older bulls, and I ain't talking about them that's faking the funk. I'm talking about the older bulls that's really not afraid and committed. Them younger bulls get in line. Them younger shooters get in line. We step on scenes, ain't nobody never known us. They don't know who we are, and they automatically call us OG because it's something different when you commit it. It's something different when they know. These youngsters know. These youngsters know the difference in the folks who plan and who committed. They know the difference in an older bull who is willing to levy consequences on their ass if they ain't listening. Not out of hatred.
Hey, man.
Not out of spite, out of love. So it begins with us. It begins with us. The universal order of things is the universal order of things, and we can keep trying to buck it. It is what it is, and when we adhere to those things fall in line, big bro. Things fall in line. That's just the way it is. And so it begins with us, the mamas and the babas stepping in. Now I'm not putting the blame on our shoulders, because we all are trying to figure our way through a predatory system that we didn't create. So it's a lot of stumbling and a lot of figuring out we still got to do. But it begins with us understanding that dynamic.
Already. You know, one of the things that you touched on was the fact that, you know, as brothers, and that ability to unite, the willingness to unite, that expression, like you said, it gotta come in what we'll call a reinforced nature. You know what I mean? We have to, and it's like what you said. You know what I'm saying? Like in step one, you brought up in forming the bond. We gotta first make a commitment. We got to know what we committed to and why we committed to it before we ever go into forming a bond with the community, with the people, with the struggle, with the fight, with everything. You dig? And it's now in step 3, you went back and you spoke on these same elements, in my humble opinion, again, meaning that as older brothers, we who have passed the ages of 30 have gone past that stage, and we are now expected to take responsibilities in the community, in the lives of our younger people. It's like we got to go ahead and come into this determined, dead set on understanding the role that we must play, because they're going to take us just for what it is that we present. And if we're doing this out of love, that expression is going to permeate out of us into their hearts. not just their minds, not just their
yes,
eyes,
sir.
into their heart.
Yes, sir.
And I got to say you telling the truth, brother, because in my community I have like a clique of bloods, a clique of gangster disciples who are striving for growth and development. You dig? As well as the Crip community, and we got multiple other factions, and I can honestly say that these brothers truly respect me, and they respect me on an equal scale because, like I told them the last time they got into it, the Bloods was getting into it with the Muslim brothers, and they was making some drama, and I went up to them and I said, man, I will fight y'all, man. I will beat one of y'all up for real, fam. And they went to looking like, man, what brother here's talking about? And I was like, man, I love y'all, man, and I'm not finna let you tear up this community, man. I love you so much to where if you have to hurt me, I would rather die or be hurt by you, crippled or whatever by you, than to stay on my feet and just sit here and watch you corrupt this community, to tear yourself down, to send yourself into them penitentiary walls to have to look back at what it is that you damaged. And then where you going to come back out to when you leave there? You coming right back here. You feel me? To what? And if I don't stand for righteousness in your life, then ain't no sense in me standing at all. So I can't keep coming around dapping you up talking about what's up, little bro. I ain't your brother if I don't really want for you what I want for myself. And I need something better. And so, brother, I respect what you said, man. And definitely when we go with that type of a mindset, a spirit set, it's going to deliver itself and it's going to express itself where they can understand it. And I'm GD. I was raised gangster disciple. You understand me? I took on the concept of growth and development, about 10 years ago. And it's like everybody love me just the same. I can't say that GDs love me more than them blood homies, because them blood homies respect me and they look up to me. And when some of they OGs don't teach them the right way as far as tell them to pull up their pants, when they come around me, it's like instinctual. Now they begin to pull their pants up. You know what I mean? They begin to drop the foolishness if they doing it. You feel me? And it's like it's love, family. You feel me? We eat together. We sit around and we sip on drinks or daiquiris or little small juices or whatnot together, and we share. You feel me? And just like the brothers say, they're about to have a National Blood Day coming up real soon. I don't know if it's May the 12th or which day it is, but they off the rip they came to me. They say, "Hey, Big Brother G, Big Brother Heads." They was like, "Bro, man, we already know you're gonna be with the family, man. La Familia status, man. So go on and get the food ready. We having a big meal, And that right there, man, that touched my heart because now they're beginning to. It's not just me expressing the importance of unity, but now they're expressing it. You dig? And that's creating a new culture. Now, as we go into step 4, before we go into it, I want to bring in a call. I think we got a brother that want to chime in with us, if that's okay with you. You cool with that, brother?
That's good with me, brother.
Already. Okay, we're going to go to the 843, area code 843-457. Are you live with us at Pops Movement Radio Networks?
Yes, I am, brother. This is my first time calling, and I'm a first-time listener, and, what I've heard has been definitely positive, it's uplifting, and it's inspiring to see the unity that we're starting to show as a people. And that's just, you have no idea how much that touches my heart, man. So first of all, I wanted to tell you guys thank you for all the work you guys are doing to bring together our people. I mean, it's something that was desperately needed. I mean, I know we got a long way to go, but this is an amazing start. I mean, I've been all over this country, man. I've been all over this world. Being a former military member, born and raised in the Army and stuff like that, I've been all over the place, and I've seen some places where they have unity, and I've seen places where the unity hasn't been much at all. But I got to admit, just the little bit I've heard you guys speaking on, it touches me, man. It's inspiring because we got so much work to do. There's so much going on. I've called it a Black Holocaust that's going on right now. Because we all know the Klan has already took off their robes and they disbanded and just decided to separate themselves into police departments nationwide. And it's open season on brothers and sisters right now. So we have to show that unity. We have to recognize that everybody's life is valuable. We need every single one of us together for this fight because it's going to take every last one of us to get through, to be able to break through to the other side and find a way out of the system. Because this system is definitely geared against us. I mean, You got the television and radio programming, and that's all it's doing is programming us to hate each other. Every time you turn around, all these subliminal messages. You look at the top-rated shows like Empire, Being Mary Jane, Scandal. All these sisters are side chicks. You know what I'm saying? When you look at the music, all you're hearing is about shooting one another, or fuck this nigga, or all that shit. I mean, it's just, it's destructive, and you know that white man's gonna keep marketing that. I mean, you don't hear no revolutionary brother speaking revolutionary lyrics or speaking about unity or anything like that. You don't hear that no more. I mean, it's
real. That's real.
I mean, yes, and then we turn around and we have our sisters who seem to want to do twerk videos and dress and act more like prostitutes just to get attention. And sisters, these are our princesses and our queens. You know what I'm saying? And they need to recognize that we are the original Hebrews. We are the true Jews. The white men out there in Israel are imposters. We are one of the 12 tribes. We are the head of the 12 tribes of Israel. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to that, it's just all about just coming together and finding a way. We got to find a way to get this happening nationwide, because Lord knows, once we all awaken collectively as one people and declare one loud, clear voice that the days of us being preyed upon by these racist pigs is over, and the day of us being held down from our rightful place as kings and queens is over. I mean, you look at the word niggas, you know, if you take away one of the G's and change that A to a U, it spells nigga. And in Ethiopian, that term literally stands for kings. They've been calling us kings all this time and didn't even know it. So what we're going to need to do is just, I mean, I know I'm new to this whole thing. I mean, I listened in. I caught one of my partners on Facebook and said, yo, you need to listen to these brothers. They speak some real shit. So I said, you know, I'm going to check it out. And like I said, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I just want to just commend you guys and say, yo, you know what? Thank you for all you're doing. And, you know, you got my number now. So if you guys need anything, you know, just holler at your boy. I'll do everything I can. I know it says 843, but I'm actually in D.C. right now. I'm getting where? This Million Man March in D.C.
Really?
I'm actually getting everything together, and I'm for this Million Man March that's coming up in October. I've already got contacted by them, and I got to do some things to get registered because I plan on speaking. So, like I said, you guys are inspiring me. You guys are. I hope to see you guys there. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that this message gets out. And gets out everywhere. And I'm going to do my part.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Peace and blessings, brother. I just want to thank you for chiming in with us. And we are on 7 nights a week. If you know some very good people that would like to come in and utilize the platform, brother, it's free of charge. Everything that we got is free. And please check us out at www.popsmovement.com. Family, at this time, you just heard from our beloved Field Marshal in Oakland, California. We're going to go to a quick selection, and I'm fixing to check these studio rooms and see if I got my big brother, Chairman Fred, inside the room. So please stay tuned with us. We'll be right back right after this selection, man. Peace and blessings, family. Love and service.
Yes, sir.
M1 in the building. Freedom ain't free. Pay the cost. Look. You gotta be like him, or be like her. The revolution gonna reoccur. Be stay cool, be your lil. Who really wanna get free for real? Be a soldier, be a rebel. Who wanna take it to another level? Be a G, be a late. If you want some liberation, better start today. Don't be like Mike, we gotta be like Fred Hampton. That's right, that's what I said. We gotta be the Honda, be your Sada. Baby in the right with black power, mama. Don't be no snitch, and don't be no pig. The comrades come and get you, spit your wig. Just be yourself, that's enough. What you really wanna be when you grow up? Everybody wanna be a star today. So much going on in the galaxy. Jimmy said he wanna be a rapper? But have you ever thought of being an adapter? 10 years from now, will you be able to change? Will you love the game and will you teach the same? Will you think, I ain't fucking with no capitalism? You don't pay your taxes and you throw you in prison? What you really know about sacrifice? Giving your life, paying the price. The price of freedom is death sometimes. Better that than dumb, deaf, and blind. Make a weak heart lose breath and mind. Huey P. Newton came just in time. So I'ma be like him. I'm getting it in until they open the pen because we destined to win. Hasta victoria siempre. I am Fidel, I am Jay. I am Toussaint, I'm Cinque. Us revolutionary sensei. See, I work for the people. The streets is my office. So Uncle Sam, keep your damn hands up, office. It's about to be a riot from the workers to the bosses. Obama gon' just double cross his fuck him. You gotta be like him, or be like her. The revolution gonna reoccur. We say cool, be your lil. Who really wanna get free for real? Be a soldier, be a rebel. Who wanna take it to another level? Be a G, be a late. If you want some liberation, better start today. Be free, like a breeze in the ocean. Be free to be who and where you wanna be. Yeah, I wanna be free like Frida. Cause I said Frida, see so much freedom every time I see her. She painted pictures, she saw herself. She painted the revolution that she saw herself. And that's real, change that's real. When you think of revolution, how does it feel? Would you risk your life or kill or sit in the cell like Sekou and Jalil? Brought it back for the cause. I did it all for the cause. Stay in tune with the sun and the moon. Got so much love for Russell Maroon. That's Walsh, he's a boss. 39 years behind them walls. 22 years without no calls. Banging on the system till they free them all. Sololita Lebron, viva la revolución. Siempre en mi corazón. It's cause of you I fight on. You got to be like you, don't be like them. Don't be no phony, don't be my friend. Just be right there when I need you. Oscar, we fight till they free you. You gotta be like him, or be like her. The revolution gonna reoccur. We say cool, be your lil. Who really wanna get free for real? Be a soldier, be a rebel. Who wanna take it to another level? Be a G, be a late. If you want some liberation, better start today.
But if you're looking for a hero, don't look any further. You're the revolutionary, but you still can't murder the revolution. It's absolution, because the revolution has come for our daughters and sons. We take who from in jail, or we gon' give them hell.
Gonna be like him, or be like her. The revolution gonna reoccur. We say cool, be your lil. Who really wanna get free for real? Be a soldier, be a rebel. Who wanna take it to another level? Be a G, be a late. If you want some liberation, better start today.
Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. For those that don't know, Mr. Sekou Odinga has been set free as of November, family. So peace and blessings on that. You know what I mean? Family, the struggle is real, family, and we're doing it from here all the way out to the field, family. And we want to just thank everybody for joining us for Brothers Uniting for a Change. And with no further ado, I already got the mic open. Our big brother is here. Peace and blessings, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. How you doing this evening, brother?
Hey, right on. Revolutionary love, respect, and appreciation. It also gives the opportunity to hit the airwaves with yourself, with the listeners, just the people in general. And I know we moving fast forward in these pressing times, and I know our field marshal been getting down with you on the line. And we said we gonna come on and tag team with him. Chairman Mao say let 1,000 flowers bloom. So we gonna hit them from every direction.
Already, you already know, man, and it's a blessing to be able to sit back and know that we deserve to sit down when we sitting down, and we deserve to get up when we getting, up to get on the front lines. Brother, I just want to, without even hesitating, fam, we talking about the solution tonight, and we speaking about Baltimore, we speaking about Ferguson, we speaking about our communities with the black-on-black violence, we speaking about the forms of psychological oppression, through the music, through the media, through social media, through every avenue available. I can remember even being on social media, and they would never show me any of your posts. I didn't even know you were still on Facebook. You feel where I'm coming from? So what I'm understanding is that a lot of brothers are being alienated from one another if the folks can control it. With no further ado, brother, I just want you to speak from the heart, man, and tell us, a message for Baltimore, a message for Ferguson as far as what you see as solutions that are required for us to begin to practice, and the principles of those solutions that you feel the Spirit is leading you to speak on tonight. Peace and blessings, brother. You got the mic.
Yes, indeed. Well, first and foremost, I think it's important that we always struggle to put things in correct political context. And when I say that term, I know a lot of times people get hesitant, or it's like a blocker or a fear factor by even just saying that term. But everything is political, and I'm not talking about just everybody got to be able to articulate and run down different political terms, but just be able to grasp the importance that everything is political. You know what I'm saying? The words, terms, fashion, the way we relate with each other, so on and so forth, and also that we not allow the state, the system, to subjugate us into subjectivity. In other words, one of the tactics, with the system has historically implemented on us is to have us thinking that isolated situations like where it's just bad in Colorado or bad in Oakland, Cincinnati, Detroit, so on and so forth, and never making the connection to our community. And so I just really want to we struggle to put these, and particularly these uprisings and rebellions and these struggles that are happening in a context of being, connected in some form or fashion. It may, there may be certain particulars or dynamics that may, that vary, ranging from, the case of Rekia Boyd in Chicago that was gunned down by Dante Serve, the case of Ronald Johnson, a.k.a. Ronnie Man, or even the case of Catherine Johnson, the elderly sister in Georgia who was gunned down. But these various cases of police terrorism that we're subjected to, but attempt to draw some correlation, and then even up to Andy with that, to tie this into other conditions and contradictions that we are subjected to, ranging from the we don't care health care we are subjected to, the miseducation, the colonial schools, to even that, or what a lot of people refer to as the black on black violence. Even how we deal with each other, and that pain and passion that has been that is bottled up in our people, and that we've been told don't talk about it, don't acknowledge it, but just even have the discussion about these type of issues, because there's like a fear factor. It's just like don't say that, like an old Southern secret, like we know it, but don't never say it. And there's gonna be some ugly stuff that come up out of it. It's like like throwing up. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some contradiction we got to see, but we got to acknowledge this, man. You know what I'm saying? How we have been impacted, and now that question of that occupation that the police, when they come to our communities, how we are viewed, it impacts how we view ourselves, the apparatus of the media, so on and so forth. So we want to struggle till it becomes second nature. You know what I'm saying? To say, okay, resistance, and also that speak for ourselves, the most precious entity, and I can't say this enough, that the most precious entity, that self-determination, to be able to speak for yourself, your own terms, and though we may not can articulate certain dynamics, but you know what I'm saying. But again, to be able to speak and work in our own interests, so we want to struggle for that. We want to be able to, hold our heads up high, and and not in some sort of abstract type of way, saying that we perfect. We know we get contradictions, but you know what I'm saying. But again, understand that it's a system that's attacking us, not based upon our contradiction, but it's a system that's attacking us because that system's survival depends on attacking us, and the fact it was birth of attacking us. So again, I just want to stress and reiterate that understand taking things in politically, like Lenin of the Russian Revolution, has said that what takes people 20 years to learn in ordinary times, they can learn in 2 years in revolutionary times. So we want to say the class is in session. You know what I'm saying? So take note, listen to who's playing what particular roles, listen to the words people are saying, listen to the media, portraying people, watch who the media brings in. You know what I'm saying? Look who they blocking on Facebook, look who, you know what I'm saying, who they promoting, so on and so forth. Look who aligns with who. So again, don't be subjective. Analyze and study. Study yourself. You know what I'm saying? How do you feel about certain dynamics? We tell people, acknowledge your contradictions, and not in a way like I'm saying, you be some sort of Alcoholics Anonymous when you guys stand up in front of the crowd and say, my name is such and such, and I'm this and I'm that. But even if you go to a personal role and say, man, why do I, what's been happening with me? Why I'm not connected with our community? We had a situation this past December the 4th in Chicago at our International Revolutionary Day, and we had a panel of a number of different people who were directly, related to victims of terrorism. Sister Dorothy Holmes, who's the mother of Ronald Johnson, who was gunned down October on 53rd King Drive, south side of Chicago. We had Craig, I can't recall his last name, Maywood, who his mother is on the panel, and also Coy and Jerry, formerly known as Deborah Johnson, the widow of Chairman Fred Hampton, and my mother. And we had a situation where, literally, we suspect the mayor had even sent some of these individuals to come and disrupt the event. But you've seen some statements come out with, the self-hatred. You know what I'm saying? One young lady, was an artist in Chicago. She literally got up. You know what I'm saying? Nuisance. She said some stuff like that. She had no connection to the, to those victims, the Eric Gardners, Mike Brown, so on and so forth. And we struggle with the community, not in no fashion way, but listen to these type of sentiments that within our community. And we say it's some pain in our community, but watch how people deal with the pain. Like I tell people, I say, fear is some people obviously cheering for you. Like you ain't scared of nothing. I say, listen, believe me. Fear is an emotion. Yes, we have it. I got it. But the question comes in, how do you deal with it? You know what I'm saying? Do I direct my pain on my own people, or do what guides me? And what guides me is a love for our people. You know what I'm saying? But you need to watch the different dynamics. These are pressing times. This is a time where the contradictions are being exposed. Where ain't no more beating around the bush. Where people are point blank letting you know how they feel about themselves, how they feel about their communities, what their aspirations are, and in fact, what their best interest lies in. So we want to take notes, you know what I'm saying, in this dynamic, in a phenomenal time in history.
Absolutely, absolutely. Brother, you just spoke on something, and I'm going to be real with you. I know the spirit is here, and I know the spirit is on this airwave right now. I wrote down on the sheet of paper in preparation for this show, I put prisoners of conscience committed, the Panther Cubs, and Field Marshal. And then up under that, I got the first question. It says, do we fight out of hate of the oppressors or love for our people? Brother, can you expound on that? And also, can you add to it an element of what's going on with our people who have a stronger drive in them to fight out of hate of the oppressor than the love for our people, and how that can be detrimental? Peace and blessings.
A lot of people take for granted just because that someone is on the battlefield that everybody on the battlefield had the same interests. I remember this guy. I was one of the guys. In fact, we had the same name. And I recall I used to be on watch how when the prison guards came in to move us, they had a certain policy in place on dealing with both of us. They would say, "Okay, lock it down," and they would bring in extra guards, so to move us around, so on and so forth. And I caught myself. I just automatically thought, well, so they treat us the same, that we must have some sort of similarities. I drew the foregone conclusion that we had the same, some of the same interests. And I would be talking to him about the struggle, and I could see the blank stare he would give me, like, what are you talking about, And it was some time later I overheard one of the guards. They were training some new guards, in fact, Stateville prison, we call it Deathfield. And one of the guards they were telling the new cadets, the guards who were training, they were giving them layout on different prisoners. And one guard said, that prisoner there, that Fred, that particular prisoner there, if you disrespect or do something to him, you are going to have some problems from him. Then he said later on, the cell down, cell 7, that's Hampton. He said, they call him the chairman. He said, if you pull a stunt or do something to any other prisoners, not only in this gallery, and not only this cell block, in the population, he said, you have a problem with him. And I said, damn. I say, wow, from the mouths of pigs. I said, I'm hearing this. I say, well, no wonder I thought,
you know what I'm saying, the deal, I say, man, I had to draw the distinction. And, you know, a lot of people escaped chattel slavery. A lot of people ran away. Harriet Tubman went back for others. You know what I'm saying? And the Panthers had a attorney called Jack Knape. Jack Knape had no particular desire or love for the pigs or the people. You know what I'm saying? And I remember some years back on the Donahue show, one of his latest shows, and I remember he kept on, you know the Phil Donahue, some of the tactics he would, run around, the theatrics he would do, moving around and trying to create, exploit the emotions of, the crowd. He said, I don't see this same hatred. Where's the hatred that, and the panel, I think, was my mother, and also Emmanuel, you know what I mean, formerly known as A. Brown. Who else is, I think, Rush, and a few more people was on the panel. But my mother had made a point. She said, I don't know what type of moderation you try to set here. She said, let me be very clear. The Black Panther Party was motivated out of a love for our people, as opposed to this hatred that you try to, depict us as. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand that. Right. And don't get it twisted. You can handle that business out of love for your people. I mean, history has shown what what people have done in love and defense of their people. Commandante Che Guevara, the Cuban Revolution, said that no matter how preposterous, how crazy it may sound, a revolutionary is guided by the most sincerest sentiments of love.
That's real. That's real. Big brother, one of the things that has always been said, and brother C, he always told me, he said, man, he said that brother Chairman Fred Jr., man, he said, I was speaking with him, man, and he was like, man, don't get too big, man, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, and Chairman was like, man, I can't never get too big. I just got big love for the people. I got big love for the people. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Hearing you say that, brother, it resonates. It resonates. I got another question that I would definitely, and also I want to ask the listening audience, family, we are in about the last 30 minutes of this show, so if you would like to come in with questions, comments, then go ahead and press 1 at this time. Until we get the people to press 1 to come in with questions, comments, and anything that they would like to add to the night's Brothers Uniting for a Change platform. Brother, I want to bring this right here to you. It says, who has the best ability to gain the most support from the black community as an individual, and why? And I'm saying that, I'm asking this question based on the one voice concept. It's like back in the days when we had allowance for everybody to select one voice. We selected the one voice of Dr. King, or the one voice of Malcolm X, the one voice of the Black Panther Party, the one voice of, you understand me, so forth and so on. And now it's like our people are so divided. And the Field Marshal was just speaking on this when we talked about expression of the importance of unity. And we got all these tribes, cultures, religions within our cultures and within our struggle. You understand? And it's like, who has the best ability to gain the most support from our different, subcultures and subgroups, and why? Who can we select as the one voice that we can begin to, request all of our tribes to give an opportunity to be that one voice? Because with all these different voices, it's making it difficult to focus our attention and our energy that we do have with conscious people, and frontline strugglers, on one cause at a time. Peace and blessings, brother. Just expound from your heart.
Man, peace and blessings, brother. I want, we have a diverse community, within our community. We have contradictions within our community, that in particular, class contradictions. We have to take into account geographical locations, you name it. And the deal is we are fortunate to have a number of talented, experienced forces who can tap into different arenas, different particulars in our community, that have like experiences with the forces in our community. The bad deal is, a lot of times we are force-fed individuals who can't, to be representatives of our community, who either have a disdain or disconnect for us, and they come out when it's beneficial. This the term we use. You say our people are black when it's beneficial, Panthers when it's profitable. You know what I'm saying? They hate the Black Community Monday, then, Tuesday when the state say, okay, you're the spokesperson. Oh, yeah, they come out, they're the spokesperson. Or, so they want to be the Panthers or so on and so forth. So our deal is be consistent. Like, when it's, not when it's fashionable or popular to be, so related to our people, the ups and the downs, the lows and the highs. We go through, I claim my people, our community, bad times and good times. I got my contradictions. We got our contradictions, but this all I got, this all we got. And so you look at those who have a connection to our people, and who have check the resumes, not just just Johnny come ladies when again was beneficial, and then why too. This goes with leadership or spokespersons or entertainment, any genre. Hold on. So wait, let me check. Let me see if you're connected to me for real. You know what I'm saying? And study that. Let me see. You're talking to foreign. So many people they give us talking to foreign language too. You cats who ain't never seen no struggle. You know what I'm saying? They come and they represent those who are struggling. And that's a contradiction that can result to become an antagonistic contradiction. You talk to some of these entertainers, you be like, man, where do people come from? Are they from a different planet? You know what I'm saying? You say, wait a minute, why do they keep bringing these individuals in to speak for me and, you know what I'm saying, and to speak this foreign language? You know what I'm saying? Like you in Pakistan and somebody else from a whole other country coming in, well, this is your spokesperson. No. In our community, there has to be some sort of a concrete relationship, you know what I'm saying, that you got to identify with what we're talking about.
Absolutely, absolutely. Family, you are hearing it here live. We are Brothers Uniting for a Change here on Fellows Friday. And, brother, you're speaking truth to power like our brother Advisor Bo often say. But with that being said, with no further ado, I don't want to, take too long before giving this mic over, man, to our big brother Charles Spencer. Big brother C, are you live with us tonight? And if so, man, come on in by telling everybody your name and where you're calling from and speak from your heart, big brother, sir.
Hey, peace and blessings, love and service. Yes. Revolutionary greetings, Chairman. Thank you for coming on.
Revolutionary greetings, love you, my brother. Yes, sir. No doubt about it. Yes,
big
sir.
Love for you, big brother, sir. It's like, man, I'm just so glad that you're out there. And it's like, right now at this moment in time, what I'm looking at is I'm seeing, all these young people, that are striving to, be a part of the solution, And it's like now that I see the leaders, the real men and women, the real people that speak for the people, who are in touch with the people, standing up and taking their rightful, position, man, it's like, I got this spirit inside me right now that's just, man, in the midst of all the confusion, it just feels good, because I see the opportunity that's, right before us, so to speak, And so what I wanted to ask you was, man, it's like, with all due respect, Chairman, it's like, right now with these young people who are, 13 to like 19, in that age range, it's like, who are striving to be a part of the solution, who are wanting to, gain an understanding of how to organize and how to mobilize and do all these things, Mm-hmm. Number one, what would you suggest for them to do, in order to become more aware of how to do those things? And number two, is there any way that, any of the, I call them junior revolutionaries when they first starting out. It's like that the junior revolutionaries can hook up with some of the real revolutionaries. Is there like any way that can happen, in the present right now real fast so this momentum doesn't just stop? You know what I'm saying? It's like to keep the flow going. Peace and blessings.
Yes, yeah, right on, bro. Peace and blessings, Again, love, love, respect, good to hear your voice, brother. And also, just to right on, our brother mentioned Advisor Bo earlier, too. I just want to, acknowledge brother Advisor Bo and other forces also. I want to say this in the deal is that, we study history, and I showed you young brothers and sisters in particular. And I'm hesitant to say that because a lot of times, even history has been given a white eye, for lack of better terms. But I'm talking about like even really struggling to do critical analysis and study like the similar contradictions that, you know what I'm saying, that were dealt with before us. So we're not looking at our situation subjectively, like, you know, like this just happened today, or you know, this only happened in case in Baltimore, it just happened in Chicago, or it just happened in Detroit. But the politics gives us the ability to draw some correlations, you know what I'm saying, that transcends geographical, transcends gender and generational lines. We have to make make the connection to the bounty that's placed on the head of Sada Shakur, to the bounty placed on the head of Harriet Tubman through the era of chattel slavery. And we look at, you know, don't wait for self to become safe to talk about it. We try to acknowledge certain things. Because, like, for example, in Chicago, there's a lot of discussion about the black sites. That, you know, the underground jails, and people being, you know, taken and beaten and tortured, so on and so forth. However, this is a response to a white individual that was, you know, taken to the underground, you know, to the prison, and not to negate and say that's, you know, that's wrong, whatever. But you need to put in, you know, that this is happening to the black community in particular for quite some time. In fact, decades ago, we were challenging them to expose these type of contradictions, and there are cases in Chicago. 1996, when they did the sweep on the GDs, and in fact they referred it to Operation Headache, where they swept the GDs. There are sections, actual whole communities, you know, the formerly gay disciples, they growth and development, whole entire sections of these communities of people we have never seen again. And it's not just, I'm talking about, like, a lot of people hear these different terms, say, oh yeah, a bunch of, you know, guys. I'm talking about families. I'm talking about, see, when we talk about these attacks and sweeps, and a lot of times people look at it subjectively, like, you know, just, no, there are families and whole entire communities that were taken to these black sites before. You know what I'm saying? They have never been seen again. So, you know, so we can start putting stuff in this political context. You know, that's why already a lot of their brothers and sisters in Baltimore been locked up and given, you know, $500,000 bond. They trying to give one brother life already. Ain't been no trial, ain't been nothing. You know what I'm saying? So this is stuff that the people really got to struggle. Don't get sidetracked. You know, about some of the concessions that the state has allotted by some of they charging these pigs up there. You know what I'm saying? Again, don't let our information be relegated to just that of the mainstream media or much of what they call a progressive media. Information. The Black Panther Party said information is raw material for new ideas. Information is raw material for new ideas. So, you know, we got to intake this information and do it. And I'm not just saying force-feed everything, because like Marcus Garvey said, take what apply and let the rest fly.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Peace and blessings. It's like what I was hearing you say basically was, you know, the truth. When people are really in touch with what's going on, they're going to speak the truth. And that truth is going to unite them in every hood, in every part of the country. And when you understand the truth, you're able to speak to the youth in a way that they can comprehend and understand, that will connect them to the greater struggle, that will bind everybody together. And so, yeah, thank you. It's like, man, like I said, it's like having real men that understand, like when the brother was speaking earlier, you know, and he was speaking on the the primary predator and the secondary predator and that whole mentality, you know. It's like when real men that really understand the situations and circumstances start to speak, that's when you start seeing the real leaders within our community, because what we're led by, in my humble opinion, is a thought of wanting to come up out of this hellish situation. And so when we hear that key, when we hear that light, when we hear that truth, that's when we connect, and it's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the leader I'm listening to, because he's speaking the truth from the real people. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, thank you, big brother, sir. Thank you, Chairman. It's like,
right on,
I'm
brother.
just thankful that y'all got it, man.
It's an honor to serve, brother. I'm honored and humbled.
Already. Peace and blessings, love and service. Thank you so much for joining in with us, Brother C. And with that being said, we're going to go to the next brother, another one of my big brothers, I believe. Peace and blessings. Come on in. Peace and blessings, love and service, 646-744.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said another brother.
That's a sister. I'm so sorry, sister. Hey, y'all, please forgive me. And when I see 646, I immediately think about my beloved brother Mike X. You know what I mean? So that's my apology. Come on in, greetings, Sister Queen.
Oh, okay, that's not for me. And then I heard my name. I said, wait, that is me. Okay. I just wanted to speak to something that the other brother had spoke about, which was the different fractions that we have broken into, and the matter of us not being cohesive enough and needing and almost seemingly needing a new leader. I see this also. I see a lot of the conscious community divided on, if you think about some of the pictures that you saw from Baltimore, you saw pictures of some black men shielding the National Guard, to me, which was absurd. I'm a conscious person. Mm-hmm. I'm all about the community, and I thought that was absurd. But there's people in the conscious community that thought that was exactly what you should do. We are divided. I'm also a Muslim, and then I have people that are conscious and do not believe in religion at all. And then they end up divided because they feel like I'm coming from a place of religion. But I don't feel like any of that should matter. Religion should not be part of the conversation. Our color should be part of the conversation, and that the fact that we are binded by that alone, not our nationality. I don't care if you're born in Jamaica, Grenada, Guyana, whatever. We are all the same, and we are all going to fight the same plight at one time or another. Maybe your people are not in this issue right now, but if you are here in this country right now with us, you should be with us. You yield the benefits of what we fought for, of what my ancestors' blood was still for, yet you are not willing to put yourself on the line. And most often I watch them purposely separate themselves from us. Now, Malcolm was always about Pan-Africanism, where we should all be together because that's the only way we're going to win. We are not a minority as far as the color. We are only a minority here as far as what they call African Americans. So this is an issue that we do need to address, and I think that needs to be addressed fast. And, I just wanted to throw that out there that I do agree with him. I do see that there is an issue. I'm working as much as I can in my community. I always have since I was 15 years old. I'm 35 now. I tutor my community. I will teach them whatever I can. I do everything I can in my community, but I'm doing it as one person, alone. No money, no funds, no anything. Only thing I have is my own skill to give them. So I want to know, my only question is, how can I build something in my own community that will bring more people into it to offer their talents? Because my talents are only but so much. I know that we have others in my community that have other talents that they just aren't lending them.
Okay. Brother Chairman Fred, you want to answer that question before I do?
First of all, I mean, the sister's raised, she pointed out some real relevant, contradictions, and it's something that I think we got to dodge and duck and dodge. And I say we, I'm not talking about us on the line, but just in general. In fact, a lot of times I come certain places, there's Chairman Fred. Sometimes you can be divisive. I say, no, not divisive. Identify it. We don't divide. We identify. And no community is monolithic. You know what I'm saying? And there are contradictions. And I think we should, again, watch who takes what position. I mean, this is entertainment. This is every aspect of our community. And I was struggling with somebody the other day, and I was saying, what's embarrassing and it's hurt, it's painful with our community is that we are constantly giving the runts of the litter. In other words, I mean, runts in regards to race. People who have a disdain for us or disconnect to us. And I'm not saying everybody should be, on the same political line. Contradictions are necessary. But the balancing act, like they say about music, we constantly be bombarded with the bogus type of music. we constantly getting the most individualistic representatives for our community. You know what I'm saying? So it's detrimental. You know what I'm saying? It's detrimental. And but we need to take note and acknowledge these contradictions. Who's where they lying at, and stop this abstract arrogance when we say, well, once we educate this person, once we read this book to them, or light this candle around them, they gonna all of a sudden get on the same. But it's weird. I got people, with the same last name I got. Love them, but man, we got different political positions. You know what I'm saying? And we need to be clear on that. You know what I'm saying? And this is not some badge that the black community only has. This is something that is happening, that occurs in every community, every walk of life, every species. Go look at the animal channel. There are different there are different dynamics within different herds and so on and so forth. So we got to acknowledge that, and take note of that and say, okay, this is what it is, And I had conversations with some people sometimes. I say, okay, I see you on the battlefield. That don't mean we're gonna be on the same. That we're gonna be allies.
With all due respect, King, but we in this country are the prey. And my thing is that we cannot afford to be this far divided because we're already so few.
I must say, Queen, my sister, right on. Out in the idealistic world, I really do wish. We can't afford. The first thing, like the Alcoholics Anonymous say, the first step in addressing the problem is recognize we got a problem. I am forced to deal with the brutal reality that there were Negro police that came in, James Gloves Davis, who possibly fired the fatal shot and assassin Chairman Fred, December 4th, 1969, who shot the Vincent Lamar Clark. We have to face the brutal reality that the role that Negro politicians play, and not only Chicago but throughout this country. We have to face the brutal reality, and it hurts, but it's a reality that we must acknowledge. In war, in every community, that all black people that we don't have the same interests. And people, no disrespect, you got people that they take a position, and it's like a denial, like a battered people syndrome. We keep on saying, well, they don't really mean that. If I'm in a relationship and I come home and the locks has changed, I start catching on. Like, okay, something, something going on. Maybe I'm not welcome here no more. That's in a relationship. And with our people, we listen to a lot of these rappers. They tell you how they feel about you. They say it. They say it. And we say, no, they don't really mean that. A lot of these so-called leaders they give us, they tell us their hatred for us. I tell people, I say, go to City Hall in Chicago and listen to the laws. I say, a lot of Negro aldermen in Chicago, if they put legislation and say, we're going to start passing the bill, we're going to start hanging black people again. A lot of Negro aldermen, the only thing they will say is they'll get the contract to sell the ropes. And it's a brutal reality that we have to come to grips with. Sun Tzu said in the Art of War, the cardinal principle of warfare is to know thyself and know thy enemy. Know thyself and know thy enemy. Now, subjectively, we can say, okay, I just live in the bubble. We all together. But the objective reality is there are those who say when they're in Rome, they're going to do what the Romans do. It's something you can talk. I told you some forces the other day. And this guy was, he was very intelligent. Quote unquote intelligent. He knew about everything. Was happening all throughout Africa, whatever. And he expressed his disdain for the people. And I really, there was some ugly stuff coming out. And that's what. And even through a struggle, you start hearing people. I listened. Richard Pryor say he was a peopleologist. That's one of my things too, a peopleologist. I listen to people. I listen to the words they say. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, they don't really mean that. You know what I'm saying? For my sanity, I don't have disappointments. A lot of people say, well, man, you think Obama's going to sell us out? I say, he never said he had a connection to our community. He never said that.
Correct. He didn't.
He never said that. But people come and say, well, I wish he did. I said, when do we deal with the real world? I said, people, they tell you their actions, you look at I think sellout is one of the most overused terms in our community. Again, sellout is one of the most overused terms in our community. These people say, oh, man, I can't believe it. What you mean you can't believe they did? Go look at the history of them. All during this trip. They have never been connected. Then they'll bring in these people, Ray Lewis, former Baltimore Ravens, who never was touched down in the community before the state called him in there. Look who behind him. Look who he walking with. The police. They're bringing these individuals who never been connected to us. They never. Only time these people give some Slave Z. They call him Jay-Z. Who's a front for that Barclays Center. Well, I got into a physical fight with some guys down there before, trying to take a position about he was a tool used by the Russian gangsters to take that property from the community over there in New York. These individuals are not connected to our communities. And so, okay, I ain't saying quite a blues, who's gonna sleep about it, but let's acknowledge it. You ain't got in the streets. That's one thing about the street cats. And we can't say, okay, man, I'm with this. Hey, man, what it is? Okay, man, I'm with this organization. What you is? Okay, I'm your opposition. We clear. Foreign territory is worse than enemy territory to me. Once we get a clarity, no disappointments. No disappointments. Let's start having some honest discussion. Other than that, it's a fraud. These individuals, they become black when it's beneficial. They have no connection. They pop up. You're like, who is that? Well, that's your spokesperson. I don't know this dude. And then they come out, they speak a foreign language. You're like, this person hates me. This person hates me. How are they speaking for me? They coming out. Look at the venom when Ray Lewis speaks to the community in Baltimore. Look at the hatred they diffuse against the community.
Calling our babies thugs.
Yeah.
And those are our warriors.
Yeah.
Those are our warriors.
Yeah, so he's telling you, so we'll say, oh, man, no, listen to him. They telling you anything about you. Oh, man, well, he just don't understand. Once I read this book to him, or you know what I'm saying, or like this, he going to learn. Man, these are grown people y'all we talking about. These are grown people. These are people who donate money to every other community. Jay-Z,
feel like
got a record where he... Excuse me, I'm sister. I didn't mean to cut your sister. Go ahead, sister.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Brother King. I'm sorry, King. I really just need to say this. I really feel like the crack era disillusioned our people to the point where we started, they wasn't raising those kids. They wasn't raising those. And some of those people are my age. Some of those former crack babies, former, babies of that, COINTELPRO, situation are my age, and they have children that are now growing up that are very angry at everything. And to me, that's a good thing because they should be angry because they were shortchanged. They didn't have families like they should have. But then here we go. Oh, well, now you got yourself together and you got yourself a little degree and you got yourself all of these things. And these are things that my family, we all have degrees and things like that. But that's neither here nor there to me because I don't care whether you have a degree or not. At the end of the day, who are you for? Who are you for? So when you start going, well, we shouldn't behave like this because, to me it looks like masters say we should behave a certain way, despite the fact that it's almost schizophrenic. It's almost schizophrenic that you say we should behave this way, but you can turn up and burn things because your team won. This team didn't even lose. Your team won and you're burning up stuff. But we can't be mad because we're getting killed in the street. Because our black brothers are being killed in the street. It's insane to me. It's an insanity that's built into us over generations.
Yes.
How do we fix this? Because I'm all for the fight to fix it. I'm telling you, I will get up, get on them streets, do whatever. It doesn't matter. I want to fix this in my community.
Sister, can you tell us again your name and where you calling from? Peace and blessings. Sister, can you tell us your name and where you calling from?
I'm sorry. I'm calling from Brooklyn, New York. I'm born and raised there, and my name is Yakina.
Man, Yakina, you went in tonight. You went in tonight on Fellows Friday, and even though this is the show Brothers United for a Change, you brought a strong revolutionary spirit here to the lines of Pop's movement, and we thank you so much for sharing with us. And sister, we will be in church with you. I promise you that. Would you like to
Let me ditto that. Hey, right on for your call, right on for your passion. You know what I'm saying? Right on for the work that you say you've been doing for quite some time. So, again, yes. Let me tag team with you on that, brother. Yeah, just please, so, that was right, right on call, right on comments, and right on points that were raised. So yes, again, right on. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, King. Thank you, all you Kings, for being there for us and loving our community.
Right on, Queen. Same to you, sister. Right on.
Absolutely. Peace and blessings, love and service. Y'all hearing it here live, Fellows Friday. I got another call in queue. I know we coming down to the last 5 minutes. 404-438. 404-438. Peace and blessings. Come on in here, family.
Peace and blessing, love and services.
Hey, Sister Queen, how you doing? Tell everybody your name and where you're calling from.
This is Queen Sheba Hughley from Alabama. Just calling in, I'm just trying to find my way to queue in. This is a hard topic to follow, but I totally wholeheartedly agree. But I just find that we formed this bond, but the thing is we still have to support. We have to support one another. We have to stand with one another. We have to be there for one another. A lot of us have talked that talk, but we have to start walking that walk. Once we get up and start walking that walk, it will be a change. Just like the brother said, classify us as a minority. There is no way we could be a minority when we are actually the majority. People have always been the majority. They labeled us as a minority to break us down, to, try to find ways to separate us in numbers, and they separate us within ourselves. We have to get back up and recognize and realize who we are. We are kings and queens out here. We are beautiful people. We are strong people, and we have to unite. And the most thing, we have to support. That is another thing that we're lacking, support one another. We have to start supporting. We have to support each other in our homes. We have to support each other in our community. We have to support each other in these political arenas. We have to support each other in education. We have to support each other even once it's not about church. It is about it also. We have to support in every arena so we can stand back strong and we can make a change. They talk about leaders. Yes, we had great leaders. But after these leaders have ceased to exist, there should be there should have been someone to walk right in his shoes. But then when that one went down, people started running scared. No, we have to stop being afraid. We have to stop being afraid. We stand strong, conversating. We stand strong on the phone lines. We stand strong, in a circle. How about standing strong in the community, standing strong in the world, standing strong in the media? A lot of things I see, like they doing these protests and stuff like that. We have to learn how to properly protest. They're giving these people what they want. Oh, they don't know how to protest because when they protest, they start rioting. We have to start talking to people to stop that. Learn how to properly protest. Once we learn to properly protest, it can make a difference. It can make a stand. But if protesting Constitution turn into be looting and destruction, you're making no point. You're serving no purpose. It's just it's exactly what's expected. Let's give the expected the unexpected, and then we'll see a change. We'll see a difference. But we have to continue to keep on. Peace and blessing, love and service. That's what I have to say on this matter.
Peace and blessings, sister, love and service. Y'all heard it here live tonight. This is Fellows Friday, man, and our sisters. Man, listen, man, we got some strong sisters across this nation, and they gonna let their voice be heard. They gonna let the spirit be felt. You dig? And they gonna bring it right from where the heart comes from, and that's that soul force, family. Before we close out this show, are you still around, Field Marshal out of Oakland?
Yes, I'm still with him. Yep, he's right next to me. Yep, we out in the field. Yes, indeed.
Okay, I need to ask y'all a question before we close this show out, and I just want y'all to speak from from your heart. You know what I mean? One of the things that we always practice here at Pops Movement is speaking from the heart, not from the head, and it definitely resonates. And y'all brothers do it so well, man. And I wanted to ask this question: can we truly be a force to be reckoned with without healing the community first? If so, why? And if not, why not? Again, can we truly be a force to be reckoned with without healing the community first? And if so, why? And if not, why not? Peace and blessings.
Without healing or killing? Without what?
Without healing the community. One of the things that you have always... yes, sir.
Okay, you have to repeat the question for the field marshal because he calling in now. But I'm gonna get out there. My brother Comrade close out. I can't. I know this may sound redundant. I think again we gotta always. It's so embarrassing being oppressed. It's so embarrassing being oppressed. And a lot of times we are forced into absolutes, and that we either can be the victor or the victim. And we want to struggle with our community. So, no, we can be victims or fighting back victims. So even prior to, we got to be healed because there's so much pain. There's never, since the attack on our people, there's never been no time we had to sit back and, lay back on those psychiatrists' couch as a community or acknowledge our contradictions. You could talk to so many people and just see that, the hatred, what you know what I'm saying, what themselves, black men, black women, black people in general. And there are so many countries that we got to deal with, you know what I'm saying, and it hurts to talk about it. So the time and location is so important, because sometimes one of the defense mechanisms of victims is you become so defensive. Like you get the wrong people. You know what I'm saying? You become game conscious. You know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't want to, somebody, ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't got no issues. You know what I'm saying? Or you embrace the attack on you. You embody it. So it's a way that we got to be able to address these contradictions without, breaking the spirit of our, further breaking the spirit. And also, don't deal in absolutes. Like I said, there's a difference between a messed up person or a messed up action. You know what I'm saying? And what our community in particular receives is that we do, we make some mistakes or errors in our life. And this is in particular about the judicial system. We have babies who've been charged with a case and who they feel like their whole life is just doomed. You know what I'm saying? Or you made a mistake, you know what I'm saying? And we just like, okay, I'm a messed up person. No, we can't deal. We want to acknowledge this and there are contradictions and differences that each of us have had. But all men and women fall down, but great men and women get back up. But you know what I'm saying? It's a touchy subject. You know what I'm saying? Especially from colonized victim to colonized victim, we get real defensive with each other. Like oh man, ain't nothing wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? And really. People say, oh, here comes Chairman Fred, he always blaming the system for something. We do, you know what I'm saying? Because one, it has directly impacted us, or it is created a climate where we don't have the space to deal with our contradictions. If we try to deal with the homelessness in our community, we get locked up for going up in buildings. We try to organize a real gathering of these different guys in the community. They lock you up, you know what I'm saying, or attack you. We can't even deal with our contradictions, so we need that space to be able to deal with our contradictions. Or every time a person opens up, and their weakness you can become vulnerable. People mistake kindness for weakness. So it's a delicate procedure that must be enacted on dealing with these contradictions, and we have to be able to walk and chew gum at the same time, still moving while we deal with these contradictions, and not trying to destroy each other. You know what I'm saying? We got to come in sometimes with a surgical scalpel, you know what I'm saying, and really making sure when we're cutting out, we talk about healing, cutting out the cancer, the bad parts, and not destroying, the core of the people.
Mm-hmm. Already, brother, when you just said that scalpel and cutting out, it reminded me of a statement that the Honorable Chairman, Mr. Larry Hoover of Growth and Development, brought out about a month and a half ago. He said, if you ain't about the peace in the communities, then you know what I mean, you ain't about nothing as it concerns the vision of growing and developing in the black community, in the poverty-stricken community as a whole. We talking about the brown laborios, you know what I mean? We talking about the Indian reservations of our red brothers, you dig, and our poor white brothers and sisters, you know what I mean, throughout poverty-stricken America as we talk about, you dig, proletariats and the lumpen proletariat. You feel me? And family, one of the things that he said, he was like, if you gonna take on certain positions of responsibility, then we got to start holding each other accountable. Do you know what comes with this? You dig what I'm saying? Don't say that you're gonna be this right here, but you're doing it for this, that, and another. You know what I mean? At what point do we begin to see that it's time to hold each other accountable to live up to the standards of what it is you're saying that you're taking position of, that you're taking responsibility of? And that's what you just said, brother. I'm going to go to our beloved brother now. I know that y'all can't speak on the same phone, so I'm opening up his mic and close yours. But please don't go nowhere because we need your closing statements, all right?
Oh, yes, sir. All of you chiming in. You don't hold.
He in the room. Peace and blessings. Field Marshal, tell everybody your name again, where you calling from, beloved brother.
Yes, sir. This is Field Marshal Tilher calling from Oakland, California. We out here in the field. We actually rolling through downtown Oakland right now, and they out here deep. So, yes, sir. Go ahead.
Brother, can you please tell us how to spell your name and how can we reach out to you from time to time, beloved brother?
Yes, sir. So my name is spelled Turhaak. Turhaak.
Got it. And brother, can we reach out to you through Facebook and social media or what have you?
Yes, sir. You can look up I'm Turhaak on Facebook. I don't think it's another one. So so yes, sir. You can reach me on Facebook. We have a website, crc4sd.org. You can go there and get some information on the organization, on one of the organizations. So yes, sir. That's the quickest and the easiest.
That's the business. You know, before we get ready to close out tonight, I want to also ask you this question. You know, can we truly be a force to be reckoned with without healing the community first? And if you feel like we can be a force to be reckoned with without healing the community woes and issues, why? And if you don't feel like we can truly be a force to be reckoned with if we don't first heal this community, you know, why not?
I think we're a force to be reckoned with right now. I think there was one of, and I've been quoting this brother a lot lately. So brother Steve Copeland, and brother Steve Copeland said we have everything we need in our communities except for the jailing mechanism. The brother said we have everything we need in our communities except for the jailing mechanism. And when it comes down to it, we have everything we need except for a shift in perspective. If we made a slight shift in perspective, and it goes back to what we were talking about earlier, operating under another culture's definition and value system, if we have a slight shift, then we'll see that we have everything we need already. We have all the expertise. We have all the skill sets. We just need to understand the dynamics of how to use that strategically for our own benefit. But that comes at not necessarily healing ourselves, but with one thing, us acknowledging and being honest with ourselves that we are disenfranchised, us being honest with ourselves, saying that we have been defeated, we are under the thumb of a ruling oppressor. That alone, because we buy into a lot of false bravado. We buy into a lot of false perspectives that really just serve to make us feel better. And so I would say, brother, that I would say we don't necessarily have to heal ourselves as much as shift our perspectives. Slightly.
That's deep, brother. That's deep. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's deep because, you know, one of the things that you said is it ain't about healing, but it is about coming to terms with saying, hey, man, we've been defeated by this agency, by this force. We've been defeated, and it goes back to what Chairman Fred said when he said the first step of any program of recovery is being honest. I got to admit,
right.
You know what I mean, that I've been defeated by a certain, you know, agent or enemy source, you dig? And once I'm able to express that and be honest with myself, it's like what I come out of is a stage of denial. They say denial is denial. Don't even notice I am lying. I'm lying to me when I'm thinking that, you feel me, that I'm winning in something that I have not won in. And so when I do that, I'm portraying the image of being a conqueror instead of you know what I'm saying, being a soldier that has to strategize, mobilize, you understand me?
That's right.
And erect a building, you know what I mean, a cornerstone that my people can come to, get educated, and become dedicated to the struggle that is required for the next 20 to 200 years. You dig where I'm coming from?
Yes,
so,
sir.
brother, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
man, I honor that, man. I honor what you stated tonight, man, and I honor everything that you said and shared here, you know, out of education and love, man, for our people, man, and the struggle. So, brother, man, we love you, man, and anything that we can do through Pop's movement to assist in the struggle with you, brother, you always can contact me through Chairman Fred, and I'll strive to reach out to you myself, okay?
Yes, sir. And I'm honored to have made the connection, and we definitely gonna move together.
Already, man. All is one, man. Peace and blessings. And can you pass the phone back to Chairman Fred and so we can get his closing statement?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna do just that.
Already. Peace and blessings, big brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm back with you. We tag teaming.
Already, man. Well, we at the closing stages, man. We done went over about 10 minutes, so I just wanted to thank everybody, man. We had our beloved brothers and sisters calling in from around the country. We've been to Oakland, Washington, D.C., Chicago, Tennessee, Alabama, New York, Georgia. We've been all around tonight, and so, you know, bringing this thing back home, beloved brother, I just want to ask you to share with us, you know, your closing statements, comments, and any support that you would like, you know, from the people as it concerns the solutions in our communities as well as the struggle that's going on in Ferguson, Baltimore, and Chicago and elsewhere.
Right on, right on. Well, I just want to say, you know, stress this to the community, too, just because not till our people get relegated to just if the news don't report it, they don't think it's happening. Resistance is happening, you know what I'm saying? In Mike Brown Town, a lot of people call Ferguson, we refer to as Mike Brown Town. And even Baltimore, which is historically known, identified as Tubman City, in regards to doing the Underground Railroad. That was a major stop, you know what I'm saying, the legendary Harriet Tubman. Again, as I said earlier, we cannot talk about our struggle in some sort of subjective sense, like it's just sad in one particular locale. These connections, you know, in South Carolina, William Scott, Rekia Boyd in Chicago, Ronald Johnson in Chicago, case after case, you know what I'm saying? And also the political prisoners will be, May 13th will be in Philadelphia, the 30th anniversary of the move, the bombings of the move, and also Mumia Abu Jamal and Russell Schultz and so many political prisoners who the state trying to kill one way or another. All these questions and contradictions going to be tied in one way or another. So I just want to say, Revolutionary appreciation for giving us the opportunity to put out the work that we are here doing. Don't wait till we become a safe subject to acknowledge these contradictions. We can be reached also on Chairman Fred Jr. www.chairmanfredjr.blogspot.com. I feel once again you get the Facebook, you reach that. Stay in contact with us. We look forward to our POCC West Coast on Facebook. Put the word out, you know, so you can contact us, befriend us, and you know what I'm saying, and whatever support the community can have, we say support your troops, support those who are here fighting for the people. And again, brothers, I want to say revolutionary appreciation to you and to listeners and to those the most important dynamic of our struggle, that being the people, because as Minister P. said, without the people, revolution is impossible.
Absolutely. Y'all just heard it here live, family. I want to just thank everybody for chiming in with us for another wonderful Fellows Friday. You just heard us at Brothers Uniting for a Change, striving to do everything that we can to continue to make the connections and continue to do what is required in order to remain on these front lines. We want to send a shout-out to Danetta Chavis tonight out of New York. Sister Danetta Chavis on the front lines with national action against police brutality. You dig? We want to also give a big shout-out to our beloved brothers and sisters throughout Baltimore who are standing firmly upon those front lines and not allowing nothing to deter them from being able to be as effective as they possibly can be. You know, that type of devotion and dedication is serious. I want to send a special firm shout-out to Sister Daphne Jackson, who's headed out to there, as well as I want to send a shout-out to our beloved brother, Javon G., who's already on the scenes inside of the streets right now as we speak. So, man, revolutionary love, man, power to the people, man, peace and blessings, love and service. Y'all have a good night, family.
Yes, indeed. Right on. Peace and blessings.
It's the ill feel to see a man in the same hour that he killed, concentrated.
I won't run when it's time. I ain't tripping, I got my day. Hey, you got yours too. I see that record sales soar after the death of his creator, genocidal tendencies when they mention he who listens, the unseen hand, slapping the faces of the young black man when they sing, knowing that we are like, got to keep it right with my people, cause I'm equal no matter how much I make, I can't escape fate. The day is I await, as I await, I can't fake. I can't fake, I'm true with it.
All up before the cash platinum brings in myself from another earth spill. Nina, T. Lee, your very existence is considered a privilege. Fuck up in the cash.